Eh.
Hey Carmen, thank you for taking it.
Are you filming it?
It's a fun bike ride. But I just can't bring myself.
You might want to look at the
Why are they here?
to remember the fraud. Her brother fought in Iraq and passed away.
There's Michael's truck. He's not going anywhere for a while.
We know what's going on? Yes.
They're here to do your lawn.
Oh, yeah.
Do they paint too?
She had a brother that fought in Iraq and he passed away. So they're doing like a veteran memorial for him. Everyone going around and applying for senior, applying to be honored. So the fellow who walked out the door had a brother that,
It sounds like
or
she.
he's a veteran himself, the fellow that walked out.
He was a Marine, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was a Marine. Shelby. Taking friends with everybody today.
There's people here from all over the United States. Even from Indiana, rode up on the motorcycles, Illinois, Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, Oregon. To say to you, how much Bill, and I am so many Gold Star mothers and fathers. With all the Gold Stars, raise their hand. We're here to say in a very loud and clear voice, thank you. Thank you for your brother. Thank you for your service to our nation. I know how much he loved you. I know how much he loved you. We have some things that we probably want to give you. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Bill. And then all these people want to come up and personally tell you how much they love you. This is Cindy and Roger Cassidy. Their son served in Iraq.
I'm so sorry for your loss. What I've done is I've made some things here for you. The first one is a keychain, and each of the keychain has 3 charms. Each of the charms represent something. So the angel by your side, Bill is the angel by your side. The heart is the love that you had for him and he had for you. And the star. Gold star means something totally different to us. It's not like a job well done, like you get on a kid's paper at school, but they have done a service for us. So it was a job that they did for us to grant us our freedom. But because of that gold star, and remember all of us that were here visiting him, all of us are here for your support. We'll do it because we'll give him bags of yarn and he sends back, trash bags full of slippers that are needed. So that's his offering to help our military.
You got a package every month from Cindy, is that correct?
This is Jim Woodruff. He's one of our road guards and former president of Minnesota.
Hello again, Bridget. How are you? How are you? Oh, great. You guys were just tiny the last time we were here. We all remember. Oh gosh, so good to see you. Yeah, he was 12 and he's still woodworking. We still remember the bench that you built for us that we all raffled off. Well, I have here for you, if you know Barb and Charlie Thompson from Mankato, they're Gold Star parents, and they started this Freedom Pens, and it's called Freedom Pens, pensforwarriors.org, and I'm going to read this to you because I can't ad-lib. Pensforwarriors.org is honored to present you one of our Freedom Pens. This pen is made from 2 military spent brass casings. These shells are a sign of our fight for freedom. Our military has dedicated their lives for us. We thank you and your family for your sacrifice that you made for our freedom. It's got their address and everything on it. We'd like you to have this as a memento of this visit today. And we are so glad that you'll be here and see you again.
This is Mike Sheets. He's the president of the Florida chapter of Tribute to the Troops.
So Florida is our newest chapter. We've only been around for 3 years. I was up here for 10 before I moved to Florida. We got the Florida chapter started. But the promise from Tribute to the Troops is the same, regardless of any of our 5 chapters, and that is never forgotten. So we want you to know that Bill will never be forgotten. From the southern part of Florida to the northern part of Minnesota, the promise is the same, never forgotten. And that's why we're here today, all the way from Florida, to make sure that you know your family is grown, even outside Minnesota, all the way to Florida. We are part of your family, you are part of ours. We're glad to be here today. I have a Florida Challenge coin to present to you, but like any good challenge coin, it comes with a challenge. And so I've drawn out what your challenge is to receive the coin. And oops, so I have to read. So your challenge says you have to go on stage with Rocky tonight and sing all 11 songs from the Songs for Soldiers set a cappella. Or wait till next week to receive your coins in the mail. Good choice.
And this is Dave Dunn. He's our ride captain.
Wow. That's a Marine right there, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we've talked several times, right? As I move the time back and forth, many times. You know, when I think about sacrifice, 2,000 years ago, there was a very ordinary man. Many people didn't like him. Many people didn't know him. You know, people didn't understand him. They thought he was fake. There's something about that man that was different than every other man walking the earth. That man hung on a cross for us. There are people out there every day that wear uniforms that sacrifice. And there are people that don't, and they go anyway. That sacrifice. That's instilled. That's instilled from that man from 2,000 years ago. So when we think about Bill, that's what we think about. When we rode in here today, every one of these motorcycles had this flag on there. This is so that your neighbors, our neighbors, the general public knows we're on our way to honor that sacrifice. We will never forget. We want you to have that.
So Dan is here from Illinois with Gold Star buddy, Mother Judy Giovanni. You know why all those other people come and stand up? So I can find them. I figured you'd figure that out.
So, as you can tell, people are here from all over. My challenge to you is maybe give him some PT advice or something, so he can carry around the coins of, the weight for the weekend and not make the mailman do it. You've been doing this all weekend. But from all of us in Illinois, there's a couple of others behind us, but just wanted you to know that we love you and we have support in Illinois and all over the country, and thank you for letting us be a part of your lives. I'll start the way you can start left.
President here,
Bridget, Tony, it's been a while. Long while. So, I'm going to be a little late. I knew your brother well, unconventionally. He came down our driveway, I'm guessing about 6 times, because I had a Labrador Retriever that liked the neighbor's side of the swamp. And my neighbor didn't like me. So he called on that dog every time. And I know there's kids here, so I'm going to keep it clean. But he said to me, Mark, if I was your neighbor, my dog would be pooping in your swamp, and your dog would be pooping in my swamp, and we'd have a beer afterwards. That was your brother, your dad, uncle, sorry. I didn't mind when he came down my driveway, because I knew I wasn't going to get a ticket. I was going to get a talking to and then a laugh. So, after all these years, again, so sorry for your loss. In a situation like this, hold that, please. We would like to give you this remembrance, tribute to the troops plaque and coin to commemorate our trip back to see you. And if you ever need anything, you can call me, call any one of these people here. We will come running. You got my word on it. Thank you.
I'm going to stand here in between you. If you're somebody's daddy, you can say, I've knew you, I've had you since you were a baby, held you in my arms since you were a baby. If you're somebody's brother, you can say, I've known you since you were born. But if you're a twin, you can say, I've known you since you were. Bridget and Bill were born 30 minutes apart, February 19th, 1971. They were 30 minutes apart because Bill decided to kick Bridget underneath his mama's rib cage right before he came out. I'm not making that up. That's what happened. And they had to unstick her. And they were just like that growing up. They were thick as thieves. They played pranks on each other. One time Bill hid Bridget in a laundry basket, and then crawled on top of it and sat there while the parents freaked out looking for the child. And Bridget said he just sat there with this grin on his face, watching everybody run around looking for Bridget while she was in the laundry basket. Her dad finally come up the stairs and saw Bridget's diaper sticking out of the laundry basket and found him. I don't know if they got in trouble or not, but they were so notorious for causing havoc that when they went to Sand Creek Elementary School for kindergarten, they put them in separate classes. They spent a year at Sand Creek kindergarten, and then they went to the Epiphany School. They lived over off Hanson Boulevard, there in Parker. And by the time they got to Totino Grace High School, they were really, even though they're twins, they were living different scholastic lives. Bill was very social. He was on the student council and had a whole bunch of things he would do. He played football for the Totino Grace Eagles football team. And Bridget kind of just went under the radar. Bill graduated from school. He and Bridget graduated from Totino Grace, and Bill said, "I'm going to college." He went to the University of Arizona. He made it one semester. ASU. Arizona State. What did I say? What is it then? I said the University of Arizona, and you said Arizona State, and there's a difference. All right. He went to Arizona, and he made it one semester. He came back home and went to Alexandria and studied to be a law enforcement. Started down in St. James, worked in St. James for a couple years, and went to Pine City. Pine City, he became a deputy sheriff and a volunteer fireman. Like he had extra time. That's what he did in his spare time. And then he went to Chisago, where apparently he policed where dogs went to the bathroom on a regular basis. He was there for 4 years, and then Bill decided, and this is why I think it's important that we're here today. Bill wanted to help us get out of Iraq. He wanted to help our soldiers. He wanted to do something good for our country. And only law enforcement can teach law enforcement. The infantry can take the ground, but it takes the policemen to teach how to be policemen. And until those naturalized citizens in Iraq learn how to police themselves, we're going to be there. There's a company called DynCorp, and they have a tremendously good reputation. And Bill applied to and was accepted. And he went to Iraq to train the Iraqi National Police. And that's what he did. And he loved being there. He talked about it. He almost always talked about the children. He said, "We're doing good things over here, and people need us." They would train in these big, long convoys. They'd have convoys that go all up and down the places, and he would, with the Iraqis and with the Army and with the Navy. And on November the 25th, Tony had gotten the MVP of the hockey game. Remember that? And they came home, and Bill called. And she said it was unusual because this time he wasn't in a hurry. They had plenty of time, and they talked for hours. They talked about Tony winning the MVP of the hockey game. They talked about things they'd never talked about. And then on November 26th, 50 miles south of Baghdad, he was in one of those big convoys when an IED exploded and took Bill's life. And here's the thing, I said all that to say. They don't build you memorial walls when you're a contractor. No Marines in dress blue uniforms come to the door. They don't give out medals. There's no casualty assistance officer. There's nobody playing a bugle at a funeral, and nobody gives you a folded flag. But I guarantee you it hurts just as bad. And service is service. Bill left our nation to help save a nation. He served our country with duty,
with fidelity and honor. And that's why we are here, to say that we remember, that we respect, and that we know, and to say thank you. William Bill Juno was a Iraqi National Police trainer, and he was a civilian police officer, and this is his family.
Matthew grew up farming in Moose Lake, Minnesota. He played football and dreamed of college, having a family when he got older. He had 3,000 reasons for joining up to fight in the service of our country. He was willing to give his life. Heroes come from small towns, poor kids and class clowns. And everybody knows when push comes to shove, they're the first one in line for the country they love. The cost of freedom is buried in the ground. Heroes come from small towns. There's many more just like him from all around this land. Just like their fathers before them, they're not afraid to take a stand. They might not make the papers or be on the nightly news, but they're in our hearts forever for what they chose to do. Heroes come from small towns, poor kids and class clowns. And everybody knows when push comes to shove, they're the first one in line for the country they love. The cost of freedom is buried in the ground. Heroes come from small towns all across this nation. They answer the call. There'll be an invitation in heaven for them all. Heroes come from small towns, poor kids and class clowns. And everybody knows when push comes to shove, they're the first one in line for the country they love. The cost of freedom is buried in the ground. Heroes come from small towns. Heroes come from small towns, like Mooresville, North Carolina. Heroes come from small towns, like Cedar Falls, Washington. Heroes come from small towns, like Liberty, Missouri. Heroes come from small towns, from Cherry Hill, New Jersey to Santa Maria, California.